Welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. I'm so excited to join these talented ladies today for a Dollar Tree DIY challenge. Ellie of DIY from House to Home, Favi of Arrows DIY, and Becky of Simply Becky DIY. I'll be making some Pinterest-inspired vintage Valentine assemblages. Let's get into it. I grabbed these wood blocks from the Crafter Square section of Dollar Tree. They come 3 to a pack, and I'll be using all 3 in today's projects, but for the first 2, these will be my base. To start, I'll base coat my block with DecoArt chalk paint and lace, and I'll give it 2 coats. This is a lovely creamy vintage white color. It's perfect for this project. Next, I'll paint all but one side of the block with black acrylic paint, leaving one side with just the lace paint. I'll pull some red in by dry brushing the black with Ceramcoat watermelon. I love the combination of black, white, and red, especially for Valentine's Day. Once I'm happy with the red, I use some of my Ranger Distressing Ink in Vintage Photo to distress the block. I'll use a cosmetic sponge to apply. I used this ink in last week's project, and I said it was Tim Holtz, but it's actually a Ranger product. So for all my projects today, I've got a moon theme going on. So I found some vintage images on Pinterest that I liked. I sized them in Photoshop along with my text and printed them on cardstock. I want these images to be sturdy, so I'll use my Dollar Tree glue stick to attach them to another layer of cardstock. And I'm going to apply a really healthy coat here because I want to make sure that they stick well. I'm just testing to see if it's sticky. It was going on really globby. I roll my brayer over it to make sure that there's good adhesion. And I'll do this with all my images, including my text. And for even more support and to achieve a finished look, I'm adding another layer of black cardstock, which will give it a tidier look from behind. And now I'll cut them out. I'm trying to get as close to the edge of the image as possible, but if there's a little excess white around the image, that's okay because we'll take care of that in the next step. To both cover up the white edges of the images and add a bit of aging to them, I hit those edges with my ink. And I'm just doing this until it looks good to my eye. I go a little heavier on the I Love You banner, but that's personal preference. Let's add some glitter and give them some sparkle. I'm just dip dotting with Mod Podge, his cheeks, and I'll add some down here. I'm using Glamour Dust, which is an ultra fine iridescent glitter. And I'll add some to her dress and her bow and the banner too. I say put that glitter anywhere that strikes you. Everybody loves a little sparkle. This little girl is so cute. This is a Mabel Lucy Atwell illustration. She was a British illustrator, and she just made the cutest kids. I'm using 3 of her illustrations of kids in today's project. So cute. I hot glue the banner to the front of her, so it kind of looks like she's holding it. To embellish her bow, I'll use some of this sweet gingham ribbon, which I also got at Dollar Tree. This was a lucky find because my Dollar Tree rarely has good ribbon. To make the bow, I've cut a couple of inches of the ribbon, and I'll snip a bit of this pipe cleaner. I twist the pipe cleaner around the ribbon, and I'll cut the ribbon to size, dovetailing the ends. And I'm going to hit the ends with my lighter to keep the fraying to a minimum. I hot glue the ribbon right across horizontally from the bow that's already on her head. I want to add this wee rose to the center of her bow, but first I'm going to add some glitter to the rose with Mod Podge. I actually got these tiny roses from the Dollar Tree, but it was years ago, so I'm not really sure if they still have anything like this anymore. I used sugar glitter on the rose just to mix it up a bit. There we go. How sweet. I have a length of 19 gauge wire that I'll use to attach the moon. I'll hot glue it to the back, and I'll use a small piece of black cardstock to tidy it up. This will give it a little extra support too. I snip off the extra wire and glue it to our girl. And I'll add more cardstock to secure it and tidy it. The moon looks like it's blowing her kisses, so I want to add some heart beads along that wire. I just cut them from a Dollar Tree necklace. Gonna add a couple to this sign too. I've cut the words to the moon from black vinyl to fit the block, and I'll burnish them right on there. If you have those alphabet stamps, they would work really great here too. And I'll add some sugar glitter to the block as well. I'll attach her to one of these little wood blocks from the Crafter Square, which I've painted black. With hot glue, I attach the wee block to the big block and the girl to the wee block. I'm making sure she's nice and level. I needed something to embellish the block, so I found this garland at Dollar Tree. Couldn't believe how full it is, so I need to trim it a lot. And I'm going to glue it right along the front of the block. I love her. I think she turned out so cute. I hope you like her too. So the process for DIY 2 is pretty much the same deal as the first. I've backed my images with cardstock, cut it out, and now I'm inking it. I grabbed some of this Dollar Tree table scatter of glitter hearts. I've stacked 2 together, and I'll sandwich a piece of wire between them using hot glue. I glue on the banner right across the front of the moon, and I'll add my glitter. I've already added the vinyl to my block, and I'll glue a wee block to it just like I did with the other one. I add some heart beads along the side of the moon. And I'll glue that glitter heart to the tip of the moon. As you can see, I forgot to add the black cardstock to the moon. Bummer. But I am going to add that extra support piece of cardstock to the back of that wire. Then I glue the moon onto the block, and I'll add some of that trimmed down garland just like I did before. I also added a wee bow to the heart to bring in that gingham. For this assemblage, we need garland, a wood block which I've painted red, and a small heart-shaped candy box. All of this is from the Dollar Tree. I trimmed down enough garland to go around the heart. I did this in 2 sections so it would be easier to handle. This is a messy process, so I did it over a trash bag. It definitely makes the cleanup quick. I'm using the top of the candy box, and I clipped off the point so that I have a flat bottom so that it's able to stand. I'm going to line the inside with scrapbook paper that I cut into a heart, but first, I'll ink up the paper. To get my heart to fit inside the box, on a piece of scrap paper, I traced around the edge of the inner heart, I cut it out, and then I trimmed it until it fit, and then I traced that onto my pattern paper. I've already cut my images, and I've torn out my text to give it a deckled edge. I inked them up, just like I did the others. These images are much smaller, so that they'll fit inside the box. I'm using 3-in-1 glue instead of hot glue because the heart is plastic and I don't want to melt it. So I'll give it a good coat and I'll press the paper in until it's nice and flush. This glue is excellent to have on hand. It works on fabric, plastic, paper, just about anything really. I lay my paper in, making sure that the edges are well adhered. I line the outer edge with the garland that we trimmed, and I'm going to use clamps to hold it in place while I attach the other side. Just makes it easier and lets the glue take hold. This glue does have a quick grab though. And I'm just going to trim this down just a wee bit more. I'm going to glue our wee fella to the moon so that it looks like he's just sitting there. How cute. Add some glitter. I want the moon to have a 3D effect so that it sits up a bit, so I'm going to glue little wood plugs to the back of it. And I'm going to glue him right along the curve so he sticks out a bit. I'll glue in the text, "Fly me to the moon," and I'm using a glue stick to attach these words. Dip dotting on glitter to look like stars. And of course we need some heart beads for continuity and extra cuteness. A wee bow up in the corner here. And let's add a couple of roses, one here at the bottom. And we'll put one in the center of the bow. I glittered the roses again with sugar glitter. I'll glue on the large block to the back as a stand. I painted black one of these little MDF signs, a skewer, and 4 of those little blocks. I have more images here, and I'll give them the same treatment as the others. I dry brushed the sign with watermelon, just like I did the blocks. I ink my images. I drill a hole in the top of my sign big enough to fit the skewer. I glue my banner to the sign. It says "to the moon and back." And I did use my 3-in-1 again for this. I glitter my images. I glue 2 small blocks to the bottom of this sign with both wood glue and hot glue for the instant grab. And I'm going to glue buttons to them. I've already dry brushed them with watermelon too. I'm standing the sign up so that I can make sure that the buttons are level. Let's glue a heart bead to each button. I glue the girl to the block. I hot glued the I love you pennants to the length of wire. I've cut the skewer to size and I'll glue on the moon. I added baker string to the wire on the back to cover the sloppy glue. And I'll add another piece to the front for aesthetics. To further embellish the pennants, I add a rose to the center and heart beads in between each flag. I've already glued the skewer into the hole. I actually added a new hole. I brought it in an inch or so. And I'll glue one end of the banner to the moon. Then I glue the girl in place. I also added a wee bow to her hair too. I'm making sure that the banner's going to reach her before I place her. And then I attach the other end of the banner to her. And finally, I'll add a rose at both ends of the banner. Here's a final look at all of our projects. I hope you like them. I'll definitely be going back to Dollar Tree for more supplies. I really had fun making these. I want to thank Ellie, Favi, and Becky for including me. You'll find links to their channels as well as the playlist in the description box below. You'll also find a list of my supplies. Please head on over to their channels and show them some love. And of course, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. It really does help our channels out. We appreciate it. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.